Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. You know it's Dems.
And that's
Here with another video for you guys today. First thing guys, Nats is here again. She hasn't been in a few videos. A round of applause guys. Welcome babes. How are you feeling?
okay. This today.
Feeling okay?
Yeah,
Feel okay to do a video?
that's what I would. That's what we're doing.
Yeah guys, so we're here with another video for you guys. We'll be doing a story time, and the story time that we'll be doing today is our experience when applying for postgraduate work permit. Before we get into the video though, we just want to say a huge thank you to all the persons who have been subscribing to our channel. This has been our most significant weekend in terms of subscribers so far, and we truly appreciate you guys, and we just want to say welcome to the Andersons family. All right, what you get here is what?
Everything related to Canada. International student working in Canada. Work permits. Everything related.
And yeah, it's just all about the Canadian experience. All the content that is shared here is based mostly on personal experience, things that we have been through personally, and also things that friends and colleagues and acquaintances has been through as well. Okay guys, so if you are just tuning in for the first time, that's what you get here. We came to Canada as international students, applied for postgraduate work permit and subsequently permanent residence. All right, if you're interested in this content, definitely consider subscribing, and if you have already subscribed, big thumbs up. Consider smashing the like button, leave a comment, and definitely turn on the bell so you guys can be notified. Another thing that we want to point out before we get into the video is that we have started a Telegram group that definitely allows this community to communicate with each other. It's not limited to any particular country or anything like that. If you want to be a part of a community that definitely of like-minded persons who want to experience the Canadian dream in terms of migrating to Canada, there are questions that you might want answered and stuff. If we don't have it, someone else might. Consider joining the Telegram group. The link will be right here in the description right below. The only thing we ask is that you come with a positive vibe and definitely share all of your experience as well. That was a long intro.
Yes, it was. Get into the
That was a mouthful, guys. All right, so as stated just now, we'll be doing a story time about our experience in applying for our postgraduate work permit. So I'll start it, and that's because I had to apply for the postgraduate work permit and then extend NAT's open work permit, vice versa. All right. Now, the first thing that I had to do was get all the facts. So the facts that I had was once you graduate, then you can apply for your postgraduate work permit and then no problem. That's all I knew. I didn't know anything else, and you know, I was a little bit nervous, to be honest, when applying for the postgraduate work permit because Nat was pregnant and
just lost her job.
she just lost her job, and there was a number of other stuff. By the way, if you want to see how she lost her job, we have a video that will talk about that as well. But yeah, we were a little bit nervous, and yeah, I was very hesitant. Not hesitant, but cautious in applying for the postgraduate work permit because in our mind, going back to Jamaica wasn't an option. All right, so take it back to the last semester of school. The last semester of school, I was only doing I think 2 courses, and that was because I'd finished most of the courses before, so I only had 2 courses to do. So that wasn't considered full-time in of itself. But in Canada, as an international student, you have to be enrolled in at least 3 courses to be considered full-time. However, in your final semester, you can be part-time, and that doesn't affect your postgraduate work permit. On paper, that is. So that was my final semester. So I finished school, and once you get your letter of completion, then you have to stop working before, like, the period of getting a letter of completion from the school to applying for your postgraduate work permit, you can't work. But once you submit your application for your postgraduate work permit, then you can start working immediately. Now, pretty much, guys, when I finished school and I got my letter of completion, pretty much I was still working for another day or two. So I was like really like concerned as well. But then I've spoken to other persons who said that they have like worked like for the entire period and there's no issue, but on paper it says that you shouldn't be working. So I'd say follow the rules. All right, So what I had to submit, the application process was pretty straightforward. I just submitted most of the stuff that I got from school in terms of my final transcript, my letter of completion, and also I had uploaded a copy of my diploma that I had gotten. And then in addition to that, it was just to fill out the application form and pay the fee. That's all I had to do, right? That's all I had to do. So it wasn't a case where I could have attached notes to it or anything as yet, because you can't do that with a postgraduate work permit. Well, I think you can, but the thing is, it's a little bit different because you have to actually be in a job full time and get at least 3 pay slips in order to apply for a family. So at that point in time, we didn't have all of that criteria as yet, so I had to apply first. Whilst applying, I was like just waiting on the approval, because I really like afterwards I didn't have any doubts that my approval would have came, but the doubts really came after I got approved, and then it's now time to apply for NUTS extension. What was that process like?
It was kind of like say like confused in a sense where, because we didn't have all the information, what we see on the internet or what persons were saying was totally different. We saw at first was 2 payslip that you needed to submit, and then we weren't sure. Persons were saying different things, so we had to I had to contact immigration for them to give me the exact payslip that we needed, and they were saying that you needed 3 payslips. He needed 3 payslips. He needed to be in a NAC code OARB for me to get the extension. So we were kind of worried in a sense, because we started to search a NAC code occupation, and his was saying that it wasn't in none of those areas, and so we started to worry. Or he started to worry anyways. So we started to worry. So we started to call around, call consultant, call persons who have been through the process already. And we were told that, okay, his job title may not be in the NAC code that is required, but his duties were in it. So that's what gave us the edge.
And actually speaking, that's actually a very good thing to expound on a little bit. Your occupation title is very vague. So if it is that you search for the NAC code underneath your job title, that might not be a true reflection of what your NAC classification actually is. But your NAC classification is really determined based on your list of duties that you perform, right? So before, like while I was in school and I was working part-time in the bank, I thought that, you know what, everything was good and everything was smooth, and I'm already in the NAC code. So when I graduate school and I become full-time, it would be like a walk in the park to apply for NATS and Malika's extension. However, guys, when I got my job reference letter, and then based on my occupation class, not based on my occupation, NAC, whatever, I realized that it was actually a C. So I really started to fret, because I'm like, I'm working in a bank and I'm doing all these duties, but yet still the NAC classification is showing that it's a C. So based on that fact, guys, I would not be able to extend their thing, because as per immigration, the only way you can apply for a family whilst on a postgraduate work permit, you have to meet certain specification. One of such specification is you have to be employed in a job which is classified under NAC A, B, or O, and that's very, very clear. However, what I had to do, I had to get my employer to then write a different reference letter. Instead of listing my occupation, they had to list all my duties. And that's very important. So my duties were what determined that I was actually employed in a NAC B, and that was when I started to relax a little bit, because yeah. But even though I was like relaxed a bit, I was still a bit worried, because I'm like, what if they don't like check and see and verify that it's actually a B? And I even list like my supervisor, my manager, no man, all of them stuff to say, yo, call, because here I go. If not, still go back to Jamaica, me wouldn't go back to Jamaica, because we're inseparable, and I'm not just saying that, alright? So we were like really worried and stuff. So yeah, so we were there waiting, guys, and we were waiting. So we submitted NATS application, Malika's extension, and we're there waiting.
It took about a month.
it it took a month. But before we get there, guys, another reason why we're really worried was because Nats was really getting government benefits by this time as well, because she had to stop working because in her earlier stage of pregnancy she wasn't feeling well and she couldn't like manage
Work.
to like work consistently anymore, and because of that she was home, so she was really getting government benefits in terms of employment insurance. So Nats was like really worried too. Nats was like, I'm wondering if they're gonna be looking at that and all of those factors and and stuff like that. So we were like really really cautiously optimistic in terms of worrying, and even in the back of our mind like we had to be like really supporting each other and like strengthening each other. I'm like, babes, no worries, I will come through, giving her that strength even though deep down inside me really a fret, and I'm like checking my our GCK account like every day, every other second, like just checking for an update. And then guys, we got that approval. We got that approval
It's a month.
probably a month after submitting, and I'm telling you guys, that was legit one of the happiest day of our lives.
So I have to
Like,
be extending my healthcare thing because you can do that. We have to be what else? You have to extend.
we had to apply for a different social insurance number, because as a student you get a social insurance number which expires when your study permit expires. So then we had to extend our social insurance number, and we had to apply for an extension for provincial health. We had to do a number of different things just as when you just came. And yeah, so that's something that you guys should definitely look out for as well, in terms of if you're here with your family, you have to know that if it is that you have intentions of having your family here with you, as soon as you finish school, you have to get a job, but it's not just any job. You have to get a job in NAC ABRO. All right, guys, and that will be the decisive factor whether or not your family is able to get an extension and their open work permit or not. And that's very, very important. And that's something that we weren't really fully aware of until it was actually time to start the process. And we were like so worried. We're not even going to kind of guys with that fret. We were like fretting, and that was like getting anxious. I wouldn't say anxious, but she was getting depressed. She was getting depressed, and she was like thinking of all the negatives, and we were like
suppose never go back to Jamaica, suppose this, suppose that, yeah, everything.
And stuff, and yeah, like some lingering thoughts and stuff, and we were like, yeah, you know what, everything will come true, and we just had to be like really really positive, guys. So postgraduate work permit is actually a pretty straightforward process for the student, assuming that the student finished school okay and the application is not complicated, in terms that you didn't skip out like a bunch of semesters in terms of well, you can skip a semester as long as you can explain. So if it is that you have skipped semesters unexplainable and you haven't explained it and stuff like that, and like if you have worked more than 20 hours, and believe guys, if you have worked more than 20 hours, they will find out. They can find out. So you want to make sure that you stick to all of the guidelines of your study permit, because it's just the entry level. That's just the foot in the door, guys. You don't want to get kicked out of the room as soon as you get in. You want to make sure that, okay, then you are following all this stuff as a student, so that when you move on to the other process, then it becomes easy and not complicated. Because a lot of students, I've met persons who came as students and like they now applying for the postgraduate work permit, and it is so complicated because they have missed semester, they have failed so many courses, there are just so many other factors that they have to contend with, and luckily we didn't have to contend with that. However, the employment issue was our biggest thing, and it was I feel so blessed that I was able to get a job early out, even as a student that was classified as a class B, and not many persons get that opportunity. So I'm saying we are doing this video right now, so for persons who are here as a student right now with their family or without their family, but they have intention of taking their family here, can know beforehand that in order for you to extend your spouse's open work permit or your child's visitor's record, or to get your family here, you need to be employed in a job classification ABRO. And having a job offer is not enough, because you have to be able to provide three pay slips your most three recent pay slips to show that you're actually employed there as a part of the document checklist requirement. You need three last pay slip. You need a three last pay slip plus a reference letter, and yeah, just that. So in other words, the extended spouses thing is really the employment is the biggest part. The employment is the biggest part, and to apply for a postgraduate work permit, the school graduation stuff is the easiest part. But assuming that everything is in contact, is in where you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our 2 cents. We also just want to wrap up this video, guys, by just encouraging you guys to just stick to the process. The process is not very complicated, it just has a lot of steps. We say that repeatedly, and it's because it's true. Now, everybody's case is different. There's not one broad brush that fits everyone's ear. One shoes doesn't fit all in the immigration process of migrating to Canada. What works for one person is not necessarily going to work for another person. Not because your situation might be a little bit unique means that you are not qualified to apply to come to Canada as a student or a worker or whatever. There are tons of other ways, right? Everyone's situation is different. Do not, and I'll emphasize this in bold caps, do not let anyone discourage you from pursuing the Canadian dream. Do not let anyone use their experience to deter you or to dissuade you from trying. Don't use one person's bad experience as the catalyst to make a decision to say that's not for me because John Brown and Mary Jane had this experience. Everyone's experience is different and everyone's journey is different. Focus on yourself and know that this is what you want, right? The law of attraction is real. If you want it bad enough, it is yours. All right, guys. If you have been like rejected before, if it is what you really want to do, strengthen your application, apply for your notes, look where you went wrong, and try again. All right. Do not let anyone tell you that it is hard. Do not let anyone tell you that it is unmanageable. Do not let anyone tell you that you're in a better position than where you can be. Moving to Canada, guys, was one of the best thing that we have ever done for ourselves and also for our family, and we will absolutely do it again in a heartbeat. Now, where you go in Canada is totally up to you. Canada is very, very big and there's potential everywhere. If you choose to go to Alberta, if you choose to go to Ontario, if you choose to go to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Yukon, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you get an opportunity to come to this beautiful country to advance your life, give yourself better opportunities to make it in life, to become successful, and to have a better peace of mind in terms of lifestyle. Do not let anyone take that away from you. Do not encourage any form of negative energy. Create a positive vibration around yourself, and definitely subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next video.
See you guys.
Peace out.